What is going on, guys? EK1 Gaming here, and welcome back to another Division 2 build video. Today's video, well, we're going to be showcasing an LMG build. This thing is so fun to use, especially in those escalations when you get into that sort of level 5 area and above. This actually comes in clutch, and there's a few different variants that you can do with this build. So if you don't have all the pieces I have, I am going to give you alternate pieces as well that you can get to swap out until you get better items or the correct roll on items. Now, if you do find today's video helpful, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and well, let's get straight into today's build video. So, of course, with this build, because it's an LMG, we are going to be using the gunner specialization. If you just pause the screen and make sure you've got yours set up the same as I've got mine, paying attention to the fact that you need 15% increase LMG damage, which is just down in the bottom left right here. So here is the build. This is a tipping scales build. It's not going to be, of course, a shock to anybody because tipping scales really is kind of meta right now with LMG. You can see that some of my loot here or some of my gear is not fully proficient. I've got it level 4 here, 13 here, 14 here. This is lucky because I've got a prototype, but again, I'm going to give you alternates or alternatives that you can use instead of some of these items. I'm also going to give you an alternative to the gloves as well. You don't necessarily have to run these gloves. So for the mask, we are going for tipping scales, of course. Now, what does tipping scales do? Well, 2 pieces gives us 30% mag size. 3 pieces gives us 30% LMG damage. And then the 4 pieces is throttle control. So shooting builds stacks to a max of 50. Each stack provides 0.5% weapon handling and 4% crit hit damage. Lose 6 stacks per second while you're not shooting, and no stacks are lost if an enemy is suppressed. Now, I've gone for all red on this, so weapon damage, crit chance, and crit damage. The knee pads, again, tipping scales, I've gone weapon damage and crit chance on here. The backpack, which is important to have the backpack and the chest piece on this build. The backpack, basically what that does is it gives me weapon damage, crit chance, and crit chance mod on there. But on top of that, it gives you an extra little talent, which increases the critical hit damage received per stack from 4 to 7. So from the main talent, the 4th talent here, it takes it from plus 4% to plus 7% crit damage. And then the chest piece is similar as well. So you do weapon damage, crit damage, and then a crit damage mod on there. You can switch these mods out and switch these as long as you've got maxed out crit chance and then put the rest into crit damage. Now, this also has a little mini talent on it, which is why we're using the chest piece and not something like the equalizer or anything like that. This increases the maximum number of stacks from 50 to 75. So now we're getting plus 7% critical hit damage, but we can go 75 times instead of the 50. So we're just bulking up those stacks and really stacking damage. Now, this does put out good damage just raw, but when you've got them stacks, you do feel the difference massively. Now, for the holster, I've gone for Salvo holster, which is a named unit alloys holster, and that's got rate of fire for having 1 piece. I've got weapon damage, crit damage, and there's already have rate of fire on this item as well because it's a named item. So the Salvo will always have that rate of fire there for you. Just put crit damage or crit chance and then weapon damage on there. Now, for the gloves, this is where the build gets interesting. I use overdogs sometimes. I don't always use the overdogs. But for this build, for now, I'm using overdogs in the footage that you've seen, and that is weapon damage, crit chance, and crit damage. I will let you read the talent here, but I will point out, just like my other videos that use these gloves, I don't focus certain NPCs in any order to try and proc this as much as I can. I literally just kill what's in front of me. So don't worry too much about having to flick through. Oh, you want to go for this tier, that tier. Oh, there's a hunter, but there's also a mini tank there. Who do I prioritize? You just play the game as you normally would, and you're pretty much going to get some of those stacks up or some of that 30% procking for you anyway. So it's kind of standard thing. I don't think anyone really focuses on certain NPCs unless it's like, you know, we've got a chunga there and normal ads. Of course, we're gonna focus the chunga, or are we going to get rid of the normal ads first and then focus the chunga? So just go ahead and put these gloves on and just use them as you normally would. The alternatives to this are, of course, contractor gloves. Now, I do a lot of escalation at the moment and stuff like that. So damage to armor for me, I find there's a lot more red enemies. So there is another way we can do this, and I'll tell you in a second, but there's a lot of red enemies there. There is a bit of armor there, but there's not too much. And I feel like it doesn't give me enough damage compared to the overdogs. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, but sometimes I do switch out to these. You can also then use, if you can't get your stats up, you know, you can't get your crit damage up, you want a bit more, use a group of Sombra. There's a plenty of other things that you can use. Honestly, any gloves really. Like I've got some unit alloy gloves here, but I mean, that would just benefit more for assault rifles, so I don't have them on. Now, the other thing you can use on the mask is Hollow Man's mask. Now, I don't think I've got one, but I'm going to quickly look while I'm doing the video. I should have looked before this. But the Hollow Man mask, probably not. No, so I don't have one. But Hollow Man, basically, that gives you health damage, which helps with those red NPCs, so you can absolutely smash through them. So what you could actually do is put on some tipping scale gloves and then swap the mask for something. Likewise, if you want tipping scale gloves, you could put on the Coyote's mask. And this is another alternate for this, or another alternative. It gives you peak instinct, depending how far you are away from enemies, 0 to 15 meters plus 25% crit damage. 15 to 25, you get 10% crit chance and 10% crit damage. And then 25 plus, you get 25% crit hit chance. But if you do want to copy the build how I've got it, of course, this is my layout for now. This is for escalations that I'm doing. And of course, any kind of content that involves me wanting to put out a lot of damage. Now, let's go into our primary weapon. The primary weapon here, I got quite lucky. I got this from a tier 5 escalation, and it's not like 99%. You can see here, it's just a slight bit off LMG damage. It's got damage to target out of cover. And then, unfortunately, it's got headshot damage. I say unfortunately, if you land in headshots, it's fortunate, but really wanted something else in that bottom slot. But, of course, prototype gear in escalation, when you drop it, it drops at expertise 30. I am not expertise 30, I'm expertise 14, but you still get the benefit there of extra 30% weapon damage. And I've got here status effect chance. So every bullet hit has a 0.5% chance to apply a random status effect. You can change that. You can get ones that do double damage or ones that make you immune, but the percentages are really small on it, so I'm not really too bothered about the augment unless you've got like a whole build going of augments that you can like stack up and stuff. But on this talent wise, I dropped it with Frenzy. Now, Frenzy is absolutely ridiculous with an LMG, because for every 10 bullets in the magazine capacity, you gain plus 3% rate of fire, plus 3% weapon damage for 9 seconds when reloading from empty. You will see in the video clips how fast this thing is firing. I am literally shredding through tier 5 enemies with ease. Literally just done, dead. Move on to the next one. This is such a good gun, and I'm so happy that obviously I got a good roll on it. Now, before that, I was using the Black Market M60, which I had dropped for me. Low stats, but of course, even a prototype gear with low stats is still higher than putting the normal one on. So I've got 18.8% LMG, damage to target out of cover, and damage to armor. Pretty solid roll there. And then that was a damage immunity chance. So this provides a 1.2% chance of becoming immune to damage for 2 seconds. But the bad thing about this one was, of course, Future Perfect as a talent. We don't want Future Perfect as a talent. We're not using skills or anything to do with skills. So useless, pretty much. Then I dropped this one as well, which is pretty lucky. This is all on bank, by the way, if anyone wants to follow in what I was doing. I was just doing the bank on escalation tier 5 and just farming it. This one, I got LMG damage, damage to target out of cover, damage to armor again, but eyeless on the talent. So amplifies weapon damage by 30% to blinded enemies. It's irrelevant to us. We're not going to be doing that. What I would like is one of these weapons. So if you look at the total damage here of a Black Market M60, 189k, whereas my Para 142. I would like one of these, if you can get an M60 or even a classic, you know, get one of these with Frenzy on it. If you can get one, just get one with Frenzy on it and absolutely put that on. Now, secondary weapons. This is where it gets interesting. We have a lot of choices. I personally like to take in a Pestilence with me. because this build is an LMG build. I've got a perfect God Roll Pestilence here. And obviously, I can give that status effect. So hit supplier debuff, dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. This stacks up to 50 times, and whenever an enemy dies, the 100% of the stack goes to another enemy within 25 meters. When they're stacked up together, this is a great weapon to use, and I'm critting or hitting that stack, you know, that debuff. I'm dealing about 940k damage per tick. So say 1 million damage per tick, and that's going to kill an enemy off and then transfer to the next enemy, and by then hopefully kill them and transfer, and you get the idea. So I really like the Pestilence as another one. And people are going to say in the comments, why are you running 2 LMGs? It's circumstantial, you know, it's situational. Sometimes I'll just run literally the Agitator, even though I don't think the talent actually works on the Agitator, because I don't feel like I'm getting 50% less threat. I definitely don't. But that's another option you can use. Blue screen is another great option if you're in a team and you want to help out. Basically, you just shoot stacks, and each number of stacks does something to the enemy. So pulse marks target for 5 seconds between 1 and 10 stacks. 11 and 25 stacks, you pulse disrupt for 5 seconds. 26 to 49, you pulse disrupt and disorient. And then 50 stacks, you pulse disrupt, disorient, and all hostiles around it. So 50 stacks is not hard to get when you've got sort of 320 in the mag. And I'll show you how we've got that mag size up as well. But yeah, so this is another great option for you on there. And then, of course, there's the big Alejandro, because why not? You know, this thing fires like so quick. You could literally just use that and have full beam mode constantly. And of course, if you're in cover, which you are mostly in escalations, you can get up to 100% weapon damage there. So that's perfect for a build like this. Now, let's stop talking about the weapons that you could have had and will use and could have used, and look at the stats here of my weapon that I am using. I've got 53.5% crit chance and 104.6% crit damage. The crit chance here, you want at 60%. It maxes out here at 60, so you want to get that as close as you can. The reason I don't have that, I believe some of my items need... so I've got a little bit there, 0.5 there to go on. There's a 1% there to go on. So some of my items are not sort of maxed out in terms of their rolls. So if you just check your build and then just like literally just optimize it, but I don't have the materials at the moment. And of course, on the actual gun itself, you can put the mods on, which give you crit chance. So crit chance again there, crit chance. I basically stack crit chance, and then I've gone for a 50 round mag, which puts this up to 240. But this is not just because of this mag here. I will tell you in a second why we've got so many bullets in the mag. Now, skill-wise, I just put on skills that I want to level up. Of course, I always keep the Reviver Hive, so always have the Reviver Hive on to get you up if you go down. It is proficient, but I've not leveled it up. And then what you want to do is go ahead and pick another skill. I like, currently, the Banshee Pulse, because you can stretch it quite far, and of course, it just disorients everything. So they all just look around while you're beaming them down, you know, with your LMG. So that's really good to help the team out as well as yourself. And another one is the cluster seeker mines, because when they hit, they literally just start looking around and they're a bit disorientated, a bit dazed from the explosions. And it just gives you that little get out of jail free card. They're the two skills that I would run personally on this build, but again, it's completely up to you. You can run smart cover if you want more damage. You can run anything you like right there. So, of course, now we are taking advantage of the modifier. Now, the modifier is not doing that much, really, in terms of the raw damage, but it is giving us some headshot damage, magazine size, and some max armor, okay? So, the active modifier I've got on is Cloud Armor, and I use that basically when I'm getting low on armor and been hit. I just press the button, and it gives me some armor repair. So, it just keeps me alive, basically, especially if you get hit by them fire bullets that literally just down you. Then for the mod number 1, so this is the module passive modifier slot. Put it in this order. If you want the same as me, it has to be in this order, okay? So in slot number 1, convert 1 offense. Okay, so that's increasing headshot damage at 3% per offense stack. Then number 2, we've gone convert 2 offense again. Offense stacks no longer affect weapon handling. Instead, they increase magazine size by 1% per offense stack. Number 3, we're going to go for split utility, and that basically decreases the utility stacks when we don't want skill damage, we're not doing anything with them, by 15, and increases offense and defense stacks by 10 each, which is why we've got 30, 30, and 5. We want to basically have the lowest number in utility. And then here, look, you can see we get 90% headshot damage, 30% mag size, and then 15% max armor, which why on this weapon here, we've got 240 in the mag. Pestilence is what, 160. And you can see the thing here, 344 on Big Alejandro, 320 on blue screen. You get the idea. It basically stacks our mag up for us and gives us that headshot damage. I am not really great at beaming headshots on this game, so I'm not sort of an expert at smashing people in the head with it, but I just generally aim for the body, and I'm still hitting for late 1 millions, early 2 millions per shot. And again, the rate of fire on this thing is absolutely ridiculous. Now, if you did find today's video helpful and you need any help, or you're just thinking, I'm lost, like what is this, or why are you using this? Put it in the comment section below. I'll answer every single comment that's in this video below. And of course, there is my Discord. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on here. I'm trying to get to 30,000 this year on the subscribers. I've just come back from about 5 years away. So let's go. Let's see if we can get the ball rolling again. Let's see if we can get this going. And of course, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video with your friends. Take care, everybody. Have an absolute fantastic weekend, and I will see you in the next video.